How's that?
Pretty great.
Good. So we have Margaret here today. She's a performer here in New York City. What do you want to look at today?
Well, I feel like a typical New Yorker who carries a lot of heavy bags that weighs on the shoulders, neck area, and sometimes you're kind of like this, and at the end of the day, you're always like, oh, I just have to release the weight, and so, but you can feel the tension.
All right, so shoulder stuff, and anything else? How's your neck? Does your neck get cramped?
Neck gets cramped a little bit, lower back, I have a bit of scoliosis.
Okay, so let's get you on the table. We'll take a look. We're going to start with just kind of figuring things out first. So you're going to climb on there. Do you want me to lower this a little bit? Yeah. So this goes all the way down. And you're going to put your nose right in this little part of the paper here. And your ankles will hang off the back. Perfect. And perfect. You're in a good spot. So I'm going to raise this back up. Put your arms alongside your body, please. And just take a big breath in and relax for a minute. And do one more. You know, the backpack thing has been a problem with the kids too, because sometimes these kids that only weigh like 40, 50, 60 pounds are carrying 20-pound backpacks, you know, which is like a third of their body weight.
Yeah.
And so some kids are getting a lot of tight muscles and, you know, a lot of stress into their spine and their backs and their necks. I remember when my daughter's 23 now, but when my daughter was in school, we went on Amazon and we bought her a second set of textbooks so she could leave one at home and didn't have to bring them back and forth. And her backpack that way became 60% lighter. So because she didn't bring textbooks back and forth. So that's always a good idea if you can figure it out. So here's your leg length. You're pulling right. Your right leg is short by about 1.5 centimeters. And let me bring it up to position 2. And as I bring it up, the legs become even. And that means the first thing we're going to look at is I just want to see how the knees are, see if the knees are reacting. It's not the knees. Let me push into the pelvis. And that's not working. It still stayed short. Let's go to the other side, the opposite pelvis. And I'm pulling down on the pelvis and pushing into the bottom. So I'm like doing a correction. And that did work. So I'm going to do an adjustment on that. It's called an AS ilium on the left. So your left ilium went anterior and superior. So the front of it went anterior, or the top. The top goes like this and it pitches forward. And then it also hitches up. So we first go to the sacrum, just to the left of the second sacral tubercle. I put it on a strong setting because these are strong bones. Then I find the top of the hip crest and I get on that and I go superior to inferior. Go straight down. And then I look for the spine of ischium, which is in the middle of the glute towards the bottom, kind of near the piriformis. So I go through the piriformis. And so I'm rocking it back. So I'm pushing it down and rocking it back. And now let's go see if that worked. And it does. It levels the legs out. And I'm really happy with that. I hope you are.
Yeah.
So this is even in position 2. As I bring the legs up, do you have something with this knee? Has this knee been something for you ever?
Yes.
It feels tight.
Yes.
Did you ever have work on that knee, or what's with that knee?
Kneecap is off center.
Okay, your
injury.
knee. All right. So bring let's do this next. Take this leg and lift it as high as you can, and then put it down. And do that yourself. So you're doing that on your own, and put that leg down, and then lift this leg up as high as you can, and put it back down. Which side felt harder to lift? And did it feel hard to lift from the lower back, from the SI joint, or the hip, or even in the front socket of the hip? Try one more time and figure out where the restriction is coming from.
Feels hip and knee.
Okay, so you're feeling some ache in the knee. Put your thumb or finger into the spot in your hip. Stick it in the muscle and now lift your leg and jam it in there and figure out where. Okay, so up in there. Okay. Kind of in here, right?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to adjust that. And I am going to look at your knee today because if your kneecap is out, I know how to align that. There we go. That's a bad one. You feel that one?
Oh, yes.
All right, now lift that right leg again. How'd that feel?
Pretty great.
Okay. Did I miss it or did I find it pretty good?
I think you found it.
Okay. So let's go back. Put your right wrist on your lower back. We're checking L5 now. And that looks okay. Switch arms for L4. Both arms on your lower back for L2. Both arms to the top of the table. And I'm checking for thoracic. So you take both palms and bring them up here and see what that does. And that makes your legs go short. So I'm going to just adjust T8. T8's right here. And I'm going to lower the setting. Actually, I feel a little bit of T7 too, so I'm just going to come up. I'm going to get the corresponding rib on the opposite side. I'm just going to follow this up because I can palpate really well and I can feel some of these are just all out. And you feel the tenderness in all these spots, right, Margaret?
Yes.
Okay, so bring both arms back down. The legs are even now. Turn your face left and right. Let me know which way it's harder to turn. So that's a left turn, a right turn. Which
Left.
way feels tighter?
Left.
Okay, so back to center. I'm going to adjust in here. And I'm going to hit some of these trigger points in the traps. And here I'm going to hit a levator trigger point. And I'm going to come up and adjust C2. Turn your face to the left. See what that feels like.
Oh, better.
Much better, right?
Yeah.
Turn to the right. Is there anything on that side?
No.
So let's look at that right knee.
Okay.
So I got the legs balanced. I'm going to first push the knee forward. So I'm pushing the tibia anterior. And that made the leg go short. So that means there's stress there. So I'm going to bend this up and I'm going to adjust on the top of the tibia from anterior to posterior. Now I'm going to push the tibia forward to recheck it. I'm going to start rotating the leg. When I rotated the bottom part of your shin or your tibia, the leg went short again. So you have internal rotation of the lower leg misalignment. So I'm going to pick the leg up and I'm going to adjust it and take it back into external to balance it out. Let's test it to make sure I didn't take it too far. I'm going to check the fibula. The fibula looks good. I'm going to check for valgus varus strain. Actually, the first one showed up. So we have to do it the opposite way to fix it. So I'm going to go above the knee and adjust from medial to lateral. This should be tenor in there, isn't it?
Yes.
And then I'm going to also adjust from lateral to medial on the lower leg to take out that that angular shift that I don't like. Now I'm going to check your patella, your kneecap. I'm on the inside of the patella going from medial to lateral. I push it out, and that doesn't like that direction. Let's go lateral to medial. That's the correcting direction. So your kneecap is subluxated or misaligned laterally. I'm going to put it on a very light setting because the kneecap doesn't need a lot. And I adjusted it from lateral to medial. So I went like this and I adjusted it this way. I got straight on the kneecap and adjusted lateral to medial. Now I'm going to retest it. I push it back lateral. It holds. I grab it inferior and I drag it up. So I'm pushing it superior. I'm pulling it down inferior. And that's the only misalignment. So we're going to leave that. And let me know what you think. But I'm very curious what that right hip is doing. And the right hip is out. So it's rotated anterior, internally rotated with the double misalignment. I'm going to adjust it back. So I came up under the hip like this to take out the internal rotation and the anterior displacement. And now I roll it again. Looks good. Let's check the left. That's good. I'm happy with that, Margaret.
Oh, this is exciting.
So let's do a couple of places just to loosen you up a little bit because I know you say you like that. So take a breath in and blow it out. You heard that. We didn't hear it, but you heard it. Mm-hmm. Good. 2 more spots. So lie on your back, please. So you're going to be up at the top of the table now. So you turn over and scoot up. I'm just going to do a little tiny spot here that I felt before on your cervicals. So take a breath in and relax. Good. I'm going to tilt your head just a little bit. How's that?
Pretty great.
Good. That's awesome. Let's do one more. There it goes. All right. So now I'm going to have you come sit up. The best way to sit up is to roll to your side and then put your hands there and push up like they teach you in yoga class. All right, how did that feel?
Great.
Turn your head a little bit, see if it's looser.
Yeah.
How did the knees feel?
They feel amazing and they look straight. I was also used to seeing this knee tilted
would roll out.
Would roll out.
Can you guys, we're recording back here, guys. Can you go out in the hall? We're recording. Okay, one more time. So, what do you think of the knees?
The knees look completely straight. This knee used to always tilt.
So it always deviated.
Always.
It almost like did this.
Yes.
Right? It
Yes.
almost shifted that way. So what I did is I adjusted this from lateral to medial. I took this instrument and I tapped it straight this way. And there's a good setting that's really nice for the kneecap, so that's what I did. And just bend a few times. You can pick your knees up or bend or plie. It should be a little better.
So much better.
Awesome.
It was always so painful.
Yeah.
The subway stairs. my biggest challenge.
So we'll see what happens. It might need a follow-up, but try it and get back to me. Let me know.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
That's the miracle.
All right,
That
good.
feels amazing.
All right, good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming in.